What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Drunk Reviews. Welcome to Movie Positive. My name is Joe here, and this is our drunk review for WandaVision.
Hello, folks. My name is Patrick.
This is Patrick. Patrick, we are reviewing WandaVision. WandaVision. Marvel Studios is back, Pat. The MCU is back. 563 days. We have suffered. We have suffered as Marvel fans. We have suffered
The Great Hiatus.
the great hiatus.
As it shall become to be known, the Great Marvel Hiatus.
Honestly, it's crazy to think it's been that long. It really
You know what's
has.
funny is it's almost good, like the break after Endgame.
Yeah,
It's right.
Because Endgame was so high, and then we had the Far From Home, the little epilogue.
How good is it to have Marvel back?
It feels great, dude. It feels...
And it is one of the strangest Marvel projects we've ever seen, if not the strangest Marvel project
really is.
we have ever seen. And he and I are both big film dorks. So when you take this back to the 50s, like you and I are both fans of King and Queens, and every time we talk about King and Queens, we talk about the Honeymooners. For a project that exists in Marvel to come straight from the mouth of Kevin Feige, and then come into existence in the world and look this way, and look the way it looks, where it's just a straight up, like, Desi Arnaz, Bewitched,
It was literally...
sitcom.
It was so weird. It was like what we were talking about earlier. It's like... I saw an interview with Kevin Feige the other day, and he's like, how do you top Endgame? And Kevin Feige said, in reality...
You just can't.
You really don't. So what you do is you start something different. And like we said earlier, this wasn't going to be the first MCU project. The pandemic halted. Actually, it was going to... Well, the first MCU project was going to be Black Widow, but the Disney Plus project was going to be Falcon and Winter Soldier. But through obvious things with the pandemic, somehow we got here with WandaVision.
And you know what's funny is I feel like it's been reorganized almost in a better fashion. I feel like
it really has, yeah.
I feel like Black Widow is going to fit better after Falcon and Winter Soldier than it does before all of it.
Right, but for me and you, when they announced Phase 4, God knows how long ago, I think it was at Comic-Con, prior to pandemic, when they first announced the show, you and I were just like, I'm all for this.
They said it was a 50s sitcom, and there was a big, I don't want to say pushback, but a confused reaction from the general fan.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of people thought that they were going for a 50s sitcom, but...
Let's make this clear to the audience very quickly as you and I as Marvel fans. If we understand that it comes from the mouth of Feige, it might as well come from the Word of God.
We have kind of a Marvel bias here.
Kevin Feige is essentially our religion. Yeah. Well, that's why you're here.
Yeah. We're unapologetic Marvel fans. We're ride or die. That's how it is.
Look, this whole channel's supposed to be about the unbridled, obsessive joy for this shit.
Yeah.
This shit gives me a reason to live the way Kevin Smith says it. Like, God bless it. It is, if you can make a grown man feel like a child, take my money. Take it.
But there's also a part of us that's like, we've seen Endgame. We've seen it all. We've gotten everything we've gotten from the MCU. So, cut back to what I said is... We're getting something different with WandaVision.
Yeah.
We're getting something totally different. We're getting something totally unique. Something we've literally never seen in the MCU before.
Yeah.
Like, what we just watched, the 2 episodes we watched, is nothing we've ever seen in the MCU.
It's nothing we've ever seen on television before. How do you feel about the filmmaking approach to this show?
Honestly, I really liked the aesthetic of the show. I really did. I feel like... Honestly, if you're talking about films... standpoint, they nailed it. They knocked it out of the park.
Who does this?
They really did. Like, if you...
Who takes these old school scores and...
Well, just old school shows like Honeymooners, Bewitched, which is heavily involved, I Love Lucy. They nailed it. Yeah. They literally nailed it to the grain of the filmmaking, to the sound effects.
Let's also take a minute to say that as a Brit, as an old school Brit Shakespearean trained actor, Paul Bettany is coming into this.
Paul Bettany absolutely crushed it.
It's not even just 50s comedy chops. It's like his comedy chops, the way he moves his face, the way he acts, right? Yeah. Like, it keeps... Because, look, we're all Marvel fans. We all want to know what's going on. Where are they? What's happening? Whatever. But as you watch it, Paul Bettany's facial reactions and his reaction and everything. And she's incredible in it too. But Paul Bettany for me really stood out.
Paul Bettany is he's really killing it. It's not just because we love him as Vision and we've seen him in other movies.
He reminds me of Doug Heffernan in King of Queens.
Yeah, he's really early. Even
The Foolish Husband.
What's his name in The Honeymooners? Ralph Cramden.
Ralph Cramden.
Like that.
Typical, one of these days.
Yeah, like bang zoom to the moon type of characters, and he's really fitting it well.
Yeah.
But as people like me and Pat and most people like you as Marvel fans, we understand the whole MCU. Yeah. We've seen all these 22 movies. We understand these characters, especially Wanda Maximoff and Vision. And now we're putting them in this weird 50s alternate reality wherever we are. Have some theories.
One of the things I find really interesting about this reality is that there's a lot of sitcom tropes. You do it like the boss choking at dinner thing, like spoiler alert for those who haven't seen, like the boss choking at dinner thing. Family Guy did it, Bewitched did it, Honeymooners did it. Like it's been done and done and done. But you take this thing, you take these moments that are sort of expected, and those are the moments where things stand out. Like Wanda listening to the radio while the very prim and proper 50s wife is telling her how to live sort of thing. And those are where the moments get very weird. But what it allows for is this elbow room of, like, the Vision poster just fell off the wall. It's very interesting.
Which happened many times on the episode.
At weird times. That's a whole nother thing. But
really trying.
But I find this to be so interesting, the way that they're framing the stories, and they're taking the moments where the sitcom tropes fall in is exactly where they stick in all of the questions. It's almost like Lostian, like Damon Lindelof. Like
it's
every time you get a question answered, you get 3 more. It's so fascinating.
It's the entire time I have no idea what's going on. Literally, still to right now, as you and I are talking, I have no idea what's going on,
and I love it.
And I love it, and I'm so intrigued. And there's so many little. There are shows that can be like Lost, and I'm not knocking on Lost, but shows like The Leftovers and stuff that at a point can be too confusing to where I feel like it gets on my nerves. Mm-hmm. This show never gets on my nerves. How confusing
the confusion in this show is intentional. It's intentional,
but it never takes you away from the show. It never bothers you. You're always just like, wait, what is that? Like, what is that?
It's good enough to run as a sitcom. I like the fact that when Vision swallows gum and it gets caught in his gears, he's like a drunk. Like
it was like drunk, and then it turned into a cartoon. Here's the question, Pat. Is there more meaning to the gum?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so? Maybe there's more to the gum?
I do have, this is like a later idea. I have a small feeling that Vision has more of an idea of going on what's Wanda going, like he's trying to protect her kind of thing. I don't know what that's all about. But the gum, what was funny to me was like I feel like there's like old episodes of Bewitched where she does human things she's not supposed to do, and then her husband is like, well, how did this affect you? Like it's very much a B story to the fact that how they're perceived in the community. And one thing that's really interesting about this community is like when he goes to the Night's Watch thing, not Night's, but the Neighborhood Watch thing, and when he goes to it's a Game of Thrones. But when he goes to the Neighborhood Watch thing, also when he pulls the choking thing out of his closet, like when they use their powers, when they have those moments, they don't talk about it. All of a sudden, the world corrects around them as opposed to them correcting to the world. Yeah. Like it autocorrects, like they use their powers and they're not supposed to, and all of a sudden everybody forgets conveniently.
Yeah, but like I said, like us as Marvel fans understand those powers, and we're all just like accepting it. But there's also that still part of us that is still very confused. You saw the red helicopter, and then you saw when Wanda was listening to that radio. I think that was in episode 2, right? Mm-hmm. Where she starts hearing the Beach Boys, and then you hear this was confirmed. Yeah. I'm not hyping back, but Randall Park's character.
He's in the trailer.
Ant-Man. He's in the trailer. Yeah, he's in the trailer. Yeah. If you haven't seen it, I'm sorry.
And it's shot in full color 16:9. So at some point it's going to pull out to some level of...
so you hear Randall Park saying, Wanda, can you hear me? And then even at the end of episode 1, they cut back to like a lab where they're sort of watching him.
And I do have to take just 10 seconds here and revel in that moment of sound production. Because where it fades... I'm a big Beach Boys fan, and Bryan Johnson was always a genius at creating backtones. Backtones create a lot of space. The way you do it in Hans Zimmer does. You create a lot of room, you know? And that moment where it's sort of fading in and out between them is just perfection.
Yeah.
The tones only change to your emotion as the moment happens.
Right.
It's such a high wire act. It
really
so to the moment. Like
Right, and Elizabeth Olsen's reactions is like the audience. Like, the way she reacts is always the way we are reacting. She's just like, she always kind of like turns her head a little bit. She's always confused. And even the camera at a point like kind of turns a little bit and you're just like, what the?
Do you get the feeling that Vision knows a little more than she does? That he's sort of protecting her?
Yeah, but also I cut back to like, is that really Vision? Is that, like, because we saw Vision die in Infinity War. Is that Vision? Is that just Wanda's mind? Are those real people? I don't fucking know. Can someone tell me? Because I don't know.
I just want to say very quickly, like, this show is so obviously and obscenely designed for hardcore Marvel fans.
Yeah.
You have to have thick skin and understand that this is going somewhere.
This is going somewhere.
And if you're a Marvel fan that's not a film nerd the way you and I are, this is probably hard to watch. But for people like you and I, that watch the Honeymooners growing up with their parents and all that, like, this is cake day. This is, I mean...
Yeah, I'm so excited to just sit with you guys and sit with you and just talk about this for the next 8 weeks and just theorize and see what I got right and what I got wrong. I'm really excited to go
we haven't touched on this yet. I want to be very clear about this. If there are any of you out there who are hardcore comic fans who know what this symbol is, the big circle with the sword in it.
What is that?
We're movie guys. We are diehard MCUs.
I'm going to look it up
We know
after,
everything.
still,
Yeah, we're going to look
what
it
is
up.
it?
But if any of you have if it's not a comic thing and any of you have theories and you want to, please add them in the comments below, tag us. We're very curious to hear your theories because I think that this is a new era of Marvel that we are very unsure of. And I love the places that it shows up.
They do show Monica Rambeau. I know, I forget her name, African-American woman, I know that's Monica Rambeau. I have no idea how she got in there. I remember seeing the trailer, I know she gets in there somehow. And I like the way they go about it with not explaining everything.
She's such a good actress.
She really is, and she's really
Everybody is killing this era.
Everyone, Elizabeth Olsen.
When you bring it down to this era, like...
By the way, Jen Barkley from Parks and Rec, I don't know what her name is.
Oh my god, I love her so
crushing.
much.
But... Poncho. But, the guy in the beehive at the very end, you and I were literally talking about, who's that guy? Who could that guy be?
He looks so familiar.
And then my brain started thinking like, okay, Marvel, who could that be? And I know that Kat Dennings' character Darcy from Thor: The Dark World is in that. And I remember in Thor: The Dark World, I looked him up, his name is Ian, that was our intern. I'm 69%, because that sounds funny, I'm 69% sure that is Ian, Darcy's intern from Thor: The Dark World. You heard it here first. I'm pretty sure that's him.
I think he's right.
And he escaped from the top. I don't know how it.
I think you're right. I took some time. I looked at the freeze frame. I looked at all that, and you know what? The truth is that makes sense because those characters, all of those people, the Skarsgård gentleman from
Stellan Skarsgård, Eric Selvig.
Those people, what they would be researching right now is Infinity Stone power, all of that.
And remember Randall Park's character, real quick, is from Ant-Man, and he works for the government, and he was part of the Sokovia Accords. He was part of helping Scott Lang, or making sure Scott Lang...
What is he saying? Where are you? Let's just close this out and say that this show is awesome, intriguing, very new. I'm very excited by it. That closes my 10 seconds. What's your 10 seconds?
10 seconds. This is a great show. I'm really excited. I'm happy what Kevin Feige did. I'm just really excited, and I can't wait to theorize with you guys, and I'm really excited to talk about the show.
Marvel's back, baby! Marvel's back, baby!